Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is February the 28th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. Hopefully this energy catches you well. Hopefully you're feeling good. You're feeling great. If it isn't Friday, hopefully that Friday energy still catches you. As for me, maintaining that pretty good. I just, still got that mucus, still got that congestion, still don't sound great. The cough is annoying. Hopefully you don't hear too much of that today. But good day. It was a really good day. Work went well. I wouldn't say I almost had a little crash out at work during my lunch break, but it is news related, so I'll save it for that. Overall, though, work was solid. It was, I had some, a lot of free time today. It was very slow, so I hung out in maintenance for a good chunk of my morning, and a couple of the maintenance guys had to, run a couple of errands outside. And, essentially they were refueling some yard dogs, which are, trailer, little trailer guy, whatever, they move the trailers. So I was just like, okay, I'll see how the sausage is made here. And just watched them do that and just kind of hung out with them for about maybe 20, 30 minutes or so and then sat on my butt. Then we got back to work once some work came down the pipe. But yeah, work was solid. Gym was great. Gym was a good one. I feel like I'm on a high, and that high went to another level. I felt like I was officially knighted a gym rat today, and it felt good. It felt good because it was natural, unprovoked. I was like on my pec delt. I'm struggling. I'm trying to get my delt, max on. I'm trying to do that, and this lady, she, comes up to me and she goes, hey, and I of course I have my headphones in, so I put one out, and she says, hey, I just wanted to say I see you here every day, and you're doing great. And I was so like flattered, stun locked, shocked. I was like, oh my god, thank you, that means a lot. Like, thank you so much. Like, I just kept saying thank you, and then she went and did her thing, and I was just like, this is it. This is it, Isaiah. We made it. Like, this is finally someone saying, like peep me at the gym, doing my thing, doing my goddamn best. And they said, you're doing good. I see it. And I was like, that means a lot. Because it really did. That's going in my memory vault for sure. So that really made my day. And to boot, the workout was really good. I feel like I'm finally getting to that point where I'm feeling, well, at least for right now, like I'm feeling more sore. I'm feeling more like I'm getting more pushback from my body in a good way. I feel like it's not like that. Oh, I'm injured. Like when I had that back, rotator thing. It's not like that. It's definitely like that good kind of sore. So it's nice, and it's kind of the reward for me doing this all over thing, for better or worse. It's my legs, a lot of legs. A lot of leg soreness. Oh, I got a flashback actually at the top of the morning. I woke up and I had to shoot my leg straight up because I got a cramp. I was like, "Ooh, that's not good." But overall, once again, these are all little signs that I'm like, "Hey, I'm putting in the work. Things are happening." So that's solid. We love that. Let's close out on the blogging with the food corner. Classic food corner. I say classic food corner, but like, I don't know. Maybe things might be about to change, y'all. I don't know. What I made last night was a beef and rice bowl, and I gotta be plain about it because that's what it was. It was just a plain beef and rice bowl with some lettuce and some tomatoes, some ground beef and rice. And I'm saying all this because I think I'm finally giving in to the D word. I'm giving in to the diet. Maybe. I don't know. And obviously, I'm not going to be some kind of perfect Pete about this, but I really think that I need to, like, at least for a little bit, maybe like a week to two, maybe more, at least to see how it feels, see what I get out of it. Just simplify what I'm eating, not eat so crazy. I have made a lot of results and a lot of strides up until this point, but I don't know, something about this week, something about just kind of the maybe the digital intake of what I'm doing in terms of like listening to people and stuff like that, and seeing how they eat, seeing how they operate. And I'm just saying, you know what? Maybe it is time for me to try. So I figured, hey, we'll try this and just do that to, and I'm a spoiler alert. That's what I'm going to be making after this. Now, I'm not going to say I'm always going to just make this. I think actually I'm going to be making chicken and rice, like some kind of chicken thigh, lettuce, rice situation, and just run that back to back to back. But I'm sure, when I go out, I'll have my slice of pizza or two or three, maybe. Oh, bad boy. If I'm at work and it's Wednesday, we're getting our little treat day, and they're gonna give me a little corner cut of ribs. You know I'm gobbling that shit down and then some. So like I want to still enjoy food. I still want to enjoy life when I can. But I think for just a bit, for at least a moment, I want to try actually dieting a bit and see where that takes me. So we'll see. Once again, just like a few weeks ago when I had this thought, I'll keep you posted. But this feels stronger, especially because I actually implemented it already. So, we'll see. Knock on wood. Because I want to try it. And plus, I do like chicken thighs. But I could imagine after a month of that and pretty much that alone, I don't know, plus no fries, like there's already things I'm thinking about, like, oh my gosh. But I think also, too, I'll still have the cut day for the Wednesday where I eat soup. But the question is, are you going to eat bread with it? And I'm thinking maybe not. I know. So, tears flowing down my eyes as I say these things. No, not really. But, it's a vibe change. It's different. And I'll keep you guys posted on what happens, what I do, and if there's any changes. Hopefully so. Fingers crossed, right? I want to keep this momentum going from this whole sick phase that I've been in where I lost like more weight than I normally would, and we're rounding into the 6-month phase of this shit. Like, I just want to really have results stick, and I want to really make, at this point, like, my goal isn't so much a number, it's just to really cut into this body fat. You know what I mean? Like, I want to look better, and I think the biggest thing in the way right now is my big belly and my motherfucking titties. So we're really going to try to work on thinning everything out and, having more muscle show. That's the goal. So I know I got to do the work in the kitchen at some point, and I think this is now. So there we go. Wish me luck. Anyway, let's do our startup and get into some news. Gotta pop the tab on this Arizona. Ooh. By the way, the flavor on this one is iced tea with lemon flavor. Not my favorite, but it's good. It's up there. These coughs. Okay. From USA Today. Supreme Court appears likely to side with straight woman in reverse discrimination case. The Supreme Court on Wednesday seemed ready to rule, possibly unanimously, that members of a majority group do not face an extra hurdle when alleging reverse discrimination in the workplace. We're in radical agreement today on that, it seems to me, Justice Neil Gorsuch said. The case is being argued amid a raging battle in the country over diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. But the justices steered clear of the larger debate and focused solely on the appeal of an Ohio civil servant, a heterosexual, who said she lost 2 jobs to gay coworkers she felt were less qualified. It's like, oh, okay, lady, we'll see. Well, let's get into hopefully a little bit of these details. When Marlene Ames tried to sue, the Ohio Department of Youth Services lower court said she failed to provide background circumstances showing the department was that unusual employee who discriminates against the majority. And then they go into like describe the test that was used under Title, what is it, 7 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. I'm just gonna breeze past that though. Also, forgive me, I got some technical difficulties on this page. But the law itself, which bans discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, doesn't set different stress thresholds for members of minority and majority groups. Ames told the justices her suit would not have been dismissed at this stage of the litigation if she had been gay and the employees who got the jobs she wanted were not. At bottom, all Miss Ames is asking for is equal justice under law. Zhao Wang, one of her lawyers, told the court in referring to the phrase that appears above the main entrance to the Supreme Court. Not more justice, but certainly not less. And certainly not less because of the color of her skin, or because of her sex, or because of her religion. T. Elliot Geiser, Ohio's Solicitor General, agreed that Ames shouldn't face an extra hurdle. But that's not what happened in this case, Geiser said. Instead, he contended Ames failed to show evidence that her sexual orientation played any role in the hiring decisions. And essentially, they go into the details towards the end of this, where they're like, yeah, the curriculum that she was trying to potentially enact, it wasn't what we wanted. So we went with the candidate that is more aligned with what we wanted. So yeah, sorry that happened to you twice. And now you're so mad about it that you're like, I'm being discriminated against. It's good. If I was just gay, if I just like ate pussy, then I would have my job. It's like, no, dude, you're just not, it's not for you, at least according to the hiring people, the hiring body. So to me, I felt like this case was out of pocket, and I think that Ohio was right. The lower courts were right in this situation. I'm not surprised to see the Supreme Court be wrong, but I mean, hey, it looks like they're going to be wrong unanimously, so I guess you could say there's that, but what difference does that make here to me? Nada, nothing. But yeah, I wanted to start off with that because that was one that was kind of lost in the fray for me when I was sick, and I was like, oh, I saw that, but I didn't quite get to it yet. Oh boy, oh my bad. Yeah, I know I'm kind of leaving some details on the floor, but we're going to move along. We got to go to Trumpville, Trumpverse, whatever you want to call it today. I don't care. The Hill. Trump ends talks with Zelensky, accuses him of not being ready for peace. President Trump on Friday called off negotiations with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to end the conflict in Ukraine after a fiery Oval Office meeting in which the two leaders sparred over U.S. support for Kyiv. We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure, Trump posted on Truth Social after the meeting. It's amazing what comes out through emotion, and I have determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations, Trump continued. I don't want advantage. I want peace. He put that in bold. He disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he's ready for peace. Shortly after Trump's post on Truth Social, Zelensky's motorcade pulled up to the White House, signaling negotiations had ended. The two leaders had been scheduled to hold a joint press conference and sign a deal giving U.S. access to Ukraine's critical mineral supplies later in the day. The press conference was canceled, and the minerals deal was not signed. Trump's post followed a remarkable exchange in the Oval Office in which the president and vice president, Vance, teed off on Zelensky, accusing him of being ungrateful for the U.S. support and having little leverage in talks. In the meeting, which began cordially with Trump praising the bravery of Ukrainian troops, devolved when Zelensky pressed Vance for suggesting that a diplomatic solution be reached with Russian President Vladimir Putin to end the war. Zelensky, in turn, laid out years of Putin violently taking over Ukrainian territory, going back on previous ceasefires, and refusing to exchange prisoners. I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country, Vance responded. And I got to add to this whole time, he's enacting this like vibe of a high school teacher giving a student a lecture who's being like too incorrigible. I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and to try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around enforcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict. He also like brings up at some point in this like argument that it's like you haven't said thank you one time. And he's like, and you hear Zelensky's like, I've said thank you a lot of times, and like Vance is like, no, like not in here, you haven't, like inferring of like the Oval Office, this meeting, and Zelensky goes, I said thank you today. And I'm talking about hands and our arm language, body vibes. I know I'm being very armchair expert here, but like you have Trump also like he's trying to like put his hands up, he's trying to get involved, and also in a very lecturing way. And you just have Zelensky who's very put off, but he's got his hands like in his armpits. He's folded, but he's just in this defensive position. He's getting two banned right now. It was just really like it just felt like bully fucking behavior to see. Let's see. I do want to read Trump's part before I move on any further thoughts. Zelensky then suggested that the United States did not feel the ramifications of the war in Ukraine yet because of geography, but would feel it in the future, setting off Trump. Don't tell us what we're going to feel because you're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel, Trump replied. We're going to feel very good and very strong. You're right now not in a very good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards, Trump said, gesturing towards Zelensky and raising his voice. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's backed you far more than a lot of people said that they should have. Yours truly. Tensions have been highlighted between Trump and Zelensky in recent weeks. Oh, we've already talked about this. This is the dictator thing. Actually, I am glad I mentioned this part, though, just because a press reporter, I think, asked Trump today, hey, do you still feel like Zelensky is a dictator? And he fucking brushes it off like he's denying reality. He's like, I don't think I said that. What? And then just like moves along. Like it's a joke. It's a joke to him. It's just so funny to watch this guy just piss glide through reality. It just doesn't matter. He just fucking defies that shit. But anyway, I guess some of my closing points here before we move on to more Trump shit. This was the conversation that I was overhearing at work. These two conservative knobheads are like, while I'm on break, I'm trying to just chill and vibe, maybe play my little game or whatever. And these two dudes who I pretty much knew were Trump guys or whatever. It's like, oh, did you see that? Did you see what they did to Zelensky? Oh, he really piped up and got what was coming to him, blah, 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 blah. And they're just keying about it. Like, they're just so happy to see this. And they think Trump just did such a good win. And, like, Vance was so right to say those things to him and be this way. And I'm like, to me, this makes us look like we're fucking bullies. It doesn't make us look like we're effective. It doesn't make us feel like we're doing any kind of real diplomacy here. We are strong-arming this country. And if anything, I think this is kind of for the good that he didn't sign that goddamn shitty deal. Because what are they getting? We still don't know. Like, essentially, Trump has said, yeah, we're going to be invested in Ukraine. So therefore, I'll keep fighting for peace. Like, that's the only way that's the only way we have a stake in this, if we have something on the table and you give us your minerals, we have something on the table. We got to go send people there, da. And this is just so messy. I will say though, against Zelensky, I think it's a bad reading of the room to try to say, hey, I think you guys have it wrong on Putin when they've already made the decision about Putin. For them, this is diplomacy. It doesn't matter to them if he's made bad deals before, if he's reneged on them and fucked countries over and people over. It doesn't matter to Trump. For him, he's saying everything I want to hear. I don't care. It's fine. You just need to be the one on board right now. You're the problem. So I think that wasn't maybe good leverage from him in that regard. But I don't think it warranted this response at all. And I hate I fucking hate Vance. Like it's so annoying that the stick that he has decided to stick to is I'm gonna be baby Trump. I'm gonna be baby Trump with no chin, shitty beard, and I'm just gonna be him because that's what got me here, right? I had to suck his dick off enough to make everything right, and now I'm vice president, so I should just keep it going. Whatever, man. Like this was a messy thing. I realized though I had to cover it because this was the update, right? Like I thought he was gonna come here and sign the deal. Okay, move on. Next thing. But nope. A little bit of pause in that action. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted if maybe there is a deal that gets fleshed out of this, and if that deal is, what are the details? Because once again, what is Ukraine getting? But that's not where Zelensky fucked up. He fucked up by mentioning Putin the way he did, and then everyone got offended because you gotta fucking I don't know fucking do a fucking back roll and suck him off Sorry. Anyway, I know I'm being crass. Let's move on though. Next story, also from The Hill. Trump to sign order to make English official language of U.S. President Trump is expected to sign an executive order to make English the official language. Oops, sorry, video popped in my face. Official language of the United States, rescinding policies that require federal agencies to provide language assistance for non-English speakers. The order encourages new Americans to adopt a national language that opens doors to greater opportunities, but also allows agencies to keep their own policies and documents in other languages if they see fit. And we'll see how long that could potentially hold, because maybe that's like a DEI thing or something. I don't know. Agencies will have flexibility to decide how and when to offer services in languages other than English to best serve the American people and fulfill their agency mission, according to the fact sheet on the order. AKA, nothing should change then, because you're going to need that. Just like in the rest of the fucking society in America, this is a melting pot. It's been a melted pot. There's so many people here. And yes, is de facto English the fucking language? Sure. Are 180 countries, they all stick to their official language, and that's fine. There's no problem with that. Why is this a ruffled feather? It is an unnecessary fucking thing to do. And to me, it seems like an attempt to try to winnow out, once again, more, either workers in government, like federal workers, or to try to be like, yeah, we don't want that to be a stipulation or an added bonus that you can speak another language, that you're bilingual. But what do you mean? That is an advantage. That is a good thing. That's something that is helping communication in a workplace with, either a customer or the person you're supposed to be providing services for. What are we saying? What are we doing with something like this? Well, it's English. Speak it. You don't need to speak all that other stuff, okay, brother? All right, why? What? This logic is just so pigheaded to me, and it always will be. So. Okay, though, I guess English it is. We'll go ahead and move along. I don't want to keep sticking on this shit, talking shit. We have one more thing I wanted to cover. Sadly, it is it's closure. At least, we're on the steps to closure from a trial thing. Took place in 2023. But yeah, let's do our last break and we will close it out. Ugh. It really when I say the that incident at my lunch break today, it perturbed me, it upset me. I did the bitch ass thing where you mumble out loud, low enough that they don't hear you, but there's a chance. Because it's don't get me wrong, I'm no one to talk. I say the craziest shit out loud at work. That shit I should not say. But it's a time and place thing. If you want to talk to this fucking, Kroger brand Ted Nugent reject, go ahead and do that off work or away from fucking me. I don't want to hear that shit. Boo. So whatever. But I'm sure I'm only due for more of that, because once again, this is the worst part about Trump to me, as an American, who's not maybe directly affected in any given one moment or so. It is the fact that I will always see the people in my general vicinity become more and more emboldened to talk the way they feel like they've always wanted to talk. You know what I mean? To say the things that they've just kind of had caged up in their hearts. And it's motherfucker, no, it brings out the worst in people, in my opinion. The upside is, though, the thing I do love, these motherfuckers will highlight and out themselves. So good. I like knowing where everything stands with people. That's always good. And I'll leave it at that. From the Associated Press, jury finds Illinois landlord guilty of murder, hate crime, and why did I say it like that? The comma fucked me. Jury finds Illinois landlord guilty of murder, hate crime in 2023. Fuck it. We're running it one more time. Jury finds Illinois landlord guilty of murder, hate crime in 2023 attack on Palestinian American boy. A jury found an Illinois landlord guilty of murder and hate crime charges Friday for the brutal killing of a 6-year-old whose mother rented rooms in the man's home. An attack that spiked fears over anti-Muslim discrimination in the earliest days of the war in Gaza. Joseph Czuba, excuse me, 73, was charged in the fatal stabbing of Wadi Al-Fayumi and the wounding of his mother, Hanan Shaheen, or Shaheen, we're going to say Shaheen, on October 14th, 2023 in Plainfield, about 40 miles or 64 kilometers from Chicago. Authorities allege the family was targeted because of their Islamic faith and as a response to the war between Israel and Hamas that erupted on October 7th, 2023. Jurors deliberated less than 90 minutes before returning with a verdict. I do want to read the father's quote. "I don't know if I should be pleased or upset, if I should be crying or laughing," Wadi's father, Odai Al-Fayumi, said at a news conference, speaking in Arabic. "People are telling me to smile. Maybe if I were one of you, I would be smiling. But I'm the father of the child, and I've lost the child. And I feel like this decision came a little too late." Just a quick recap in the situation. Czuba, I'm gonna just keep getting his name fucking wrong. Sorry. Had came up and was essentially trying to say, "Hey, you guys can't live here anymore because you guys are Muslim." Then days later, he comes up and attacks Shaheen, stabs her over a dozen times. She's able to flee, get into a room, lock the door. He then proceeds to go into Wadi's room, stab him 26 times. I believe that's he leaves the knife in, and I believe that they found the boy with no clothes on. I don't know why, but that's part of the article. It's very disturbing. It's very upsetting. All because he just saw what happened on October 7th, and he's like, "Oh, time for me to be as Islamophobic as possible because they're gonna do that here." Like, and it's like, brother, you're just wildly conjecturing here. You're just connecting dots that are not there. They aren't. You're just discriminating on other people and taking it to just violence. So it was sad to see this unfold the way that it did. In my mind, crazy that he says, "Oh, I'm just going to run the not guilty, not going to do a plea and see what happens." And I guess we see what happens. Now, granted, I think May 2nd is when he is going to be sentenced. Yeah. So we'll be coming back to, officially close this out. But I mean, of course, I'm sure for the family, it doesn't feel like closure, without a doubt. Like, none of this is bringing, their child home. And none of this is stopping with just, Joseph Czuba. Like, there are more and more people like this. We've covered other stories like this happening, in America, internationally. So, I really just want to close out just, really just saying, I mean, yes, we are now what, we're in 2025 now. Things really haven't changed in terms of the climate or the temperature, but, we really got to remember that we're all fucking together in this shit. That it's not a you versus me thing. It's not a us versus them thing. Like, we are all here. It is the people who are, supposed to be helping us and giving us services and protecting us. I feel like we should be against, if anything. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to fucking incite a riot or nothing. You feel me? But, Don't do shit like this. You know what I mean? Goddamn. Like, be a fucking human being, please. And I'll leave it with that. Let's see here. If you would like to help out, support the effort, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/News. Tomorrow is the roll call day. You know, whatever. You know what it is. IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow on TikTok. Follow on Spotify. Leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye-bye. Mwah.